Hi, Dr. TJ Dixon here, connecting to your best life. Today's message is letting go of toxic relationships and regaining your wellness. I know many of us have been in relationships. We've been in relationships that sometimes get to a point where they're no longer serving us, they're no longer serving the other person, and they become toxic. Sometimes they were toxic from the very beginning. And with those types of relationships, sometimes it's very, very difficult to let those go and come out of those relationships and still feel and be well. Sometimes we're dealing with narcissistic personalities, particularly for us empaths. That can be particularly devastating. So today's message, I'm offering you 7 steps that you can take to release the toxic relationships and also regain your wellness. So step number 1, as it is with most things in our lives, you got to make a decision that you want the change to happen. You got to make a decision that you want to let go of the toxic relationship and regain your wellness. That one right there is huge. Sometimes people will complain and they will talk about how terrible their relationships are. Maybe they're dating someone and this person is doing terrible things to them or acting in terrible ways, and they'll complain about it and they'll want to continue to complain about it, but not really take any real steps to let it go. There's also people where you'll leave one relationship and get into another one exactly the same way or worse. So you're basically dating the same person, just in different skin, because you've never dealt with the real issue of why you are getting into the toxic relationships. You're not dealing with gaining your wellness so that you can attract and keep healthy relationships. So step 1 is a decision to let go. Step 2 is to actually let go. It's just not the decision, but now you got to let go. For some people, this step is super simple and they don't need the other 5 steps. They're like, nope, this is toxic. This does no longer serve me. I want to feel good again. I want to be well. So I'm done with this relationship. I bless you. I wish you well, but I'm out. And I have known of people who have had that type of mindset where it was really simple in their heads. And they just said, I don't want to be mad anymore. I don't want to be sad anymore. I see that this relationship is stealing my joy. It's bringing me down. So I'm done with it. And now I'm going to go and live my best life. If you're one of those people, congratulations, because that is awesome. The point is we all want to get to live in our best lives. But for other people, sometimes letting go and still regaining, still having our wellness, is just not so simple. So that's where step 3 comes into play. And step 3 is to seek help and empowerment. Seek help and empowerment. And that can come in the form of counseling. It can come in the form of coaching. Last week, I talked about a technique called emotion code, which is a healing technique that can remove trapped emotions from our system. And there are other healing modalities out there as well that can actually help us heal from the damage that's been done from being in a toxic relationship. Me personally, I've used all 3. I've used the counseling to get myself and my mind in a more healthy place. I've used emotion code to release trapped emotions. And as a coach, coaches need coaches. And so I consistently have a coach that not necessarily helps me deal with toxic relationships. Sometimes that comes up if I'm working somewhere and I need to really make sure I've cleansed myself of working with someone and it started to go south. But I also use coaches for me to continue to grow and build and be able to bring you awesome messages and do the work that I do. So there's nothing wrong with seeking help and empowerment to move you towards your wellness and your best life. Number 4, pour into you. Typically, when we've been dealing in toxic relationships, we're stripped. We have been pouring so much energy, so much time, so much resource into that relationship that we have not done things to pour into ourselves. So when you release that toxic relationship, you got to pour into you. And that might mean listening to awesome music. What music are you listening to? If you've been in a romantic relationship, don't make the mistake of listening to those sad songs, Baby Come Back, I regret our breakup, all those types of songs out there. And my goodness, there's so many different types of songs. Some of the songs are even songs that talk about your anger in the relationship. There's many artists out there that has those songs, but there's also those artists out there that actually pour into your spirit that can really help you heal and get well. And it's not those songs about sadness over a breakup. Those are only going to serve to continue to sink you forward and keep you stuck. Also, look at other things that are inspiring and empowering you. Like sometimes on Facebook, there are people will put these awesome posts out there about feeling good about yourself, about owning your stuff. Today I saw a post that said the first step to moving forward to growth is owning your own bullshit. And yes, we do. We have to own our own bullshit. So find those things. Find the things that inspire you, that help you really take charge of your life, empower you, and inspire you to move forward. Step number 5 is take inventory. Take inventory. Who are the givers and takers in your life? Look at that. Really, really look at that. And it doesn't matter if these people are your family. It doesn't matter if it's your significant other. It doesn't matter if it's your friends or your coworkers. Who are the givers and takers in your life? Because sometimes our toxic relationships aren't just coming from the romantic ones. Sometimes it's coming from our brothers and sisters. Sometimes it's coming from our parents. Sometimes it's coming from our coworkers. And there are times when it comes from our friends. There are people who talk about haters and people like that. Sometimes the haters in your life are the ones that you think love you. The haters in your life sometimes are the ones that you keep the closest to you. So really take inventory and take an evaluation of who is in your life. Who's the people who are encouraging you to move forward? Who are the people who are sitting around talking badly about your toxic relationships, who are telling you, yeah, girl, if I was on that job, I would be doing so and so and so and so to this person? Who are the people who are telling you how terrible your significant other is, and how now that you're broken up, still keeping that flame and that fire going because they're constantly talking negatively about that? Who are those people? Who are the people who are bringing you down? Who are the people who are pouring into your joy? Really pouring into your joy. Think about that and take a look at it. Step number 6 is take a time out. Take a time out. Sometimes we just need a break. Sometimes it's just too much going on. And so we really need to cut back on our activities. Maybe we need to take a little retreat from quite a few people. Oftentimes when we've been in toxic relationships, those relationships are somehow a big part of our lives. If it's with a significant other, maybe we have mutual friends and you need to take a time out from them. If the toxic relationship is at work, maybe you need to take a time out from attending out of work functions with the people from work. If it's with your family, maybe you need to take a time out and just not go to as many family events. Maybe you need to stop taking phone calls for a while. But whatever it is, take a time out and really center yourself so that you can really hear and pray and meditate during that time out, so that you can really hear from God and you can really hear from your higher self. What are the proper next steps for you? What next things can you do to really pour into yourself, to really nurture yourself back into health, healing, and wellness? And the final step that I have for you is go back to your loves. Discover your loves again. What turns you on before this toxic relationship? What made you feel good? What brought you joy? You might have to go back an awful long way. You might have to go back to the 7th grade. What did you like to do in 7th grade that was just awesome? Was it skating? Was it listening to a certain music? Was it going to the park? What was it? Was it baking? Go back to a time when you felt joy, when you felt bliss, before the toxic relationship, and discover your loves again. Because all of us have interests and things that we love to do. And as life goes and as relationship goes, sometimes we will set those things aside for relationships, for jobs, for significant others, for family, for friends. Go back and see what really turns you on as an individual person. Do those things in order to start building you back up, building your wellness, and coming back to who you truly are. Now, thank you so much for watching, and I welcome all of my new subscribers. Thank you all who have subscribed in the past and also recently. And if you are new to my channel, or even if you've been watching my channel and you like the videos you are seeing, please click the subscribe button below and subscribe to my channel. If you have any comments or questions, please comment or question below. And if you'd like to know more about the work that I do, check out my website at www.drtjdixon.com. Let go of those toxic relationships, regain your wellness, and may you live your best life.